Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Chiefs Chargers in Brazil on Friday on YouTube. They're going to give everyone that game for free. They're so generous because the rest of the season they're going to fleece you for all your money.
That's one, Scott. That division to me, based on what's happened to the Chiefs the last couple seasons, that division, the AFC West, could be up for grabs here. I know Chiefs fans think I'm probably out of my mind.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I actually like the fact that they went 7 games against a quality opponent here and still had to face adversity even in a game number 7. How are we setting up this next series where they rested Minnesota Timberwolves team taking on OKC fresh from the fight here?
They had an extremely, maybe it's just too strong a statement to say, easier pathway than people thought, particularly because of their size.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on Sport.
And welcome in. It's in-game live game day on this terrific Tuesday. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern time, watching, analyzing, betting in the world of sports. Oh, what a crazy day it's been today already. Jack of all trades or a royal flush, Mr. Sharapan? Go in the wrong direction, sadly, in Minnesota. Are the Knicks going in the right direction in New York? Gretzky versus McDavid. We brought it up last night. You make the call tonight. An NBA pullover on the side of the road play for the postseason that I came up with. 5 on the line, our SGPs, Black Cloud, which hit again last night. We'll get to it all day for the next 2 hours. What's going on, my friend? How are you tonight?
Boy, I'm great. On a baseball-only day today, we got a couple stories that don't involve baseball. I mean, obviously, and then we got the Stanley Cup preview. We'll talk about that. Hockey starts tomorrow. It's been a while since there's been a game. But the story of the day has nothing to do with gambling, has nothing to do with, a sport being played, anything today. I mean, early morning, maybe mid-morning out west here today in Vegas, word came out that the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau. And, wow, there's a lot of people talking about it. Me and K-Dub just talked about it. I was curious what you thought before we get to 5 on the line. They got to have another coach in place already, right? There had to be something that happened after the season meetings when, coaches and upstairs get together and then they go, you know what? That was fun. It was a nice run. We're going to part ways because we got somebody else in mind. That's the only thing that can make sense to me.
Yeah, Mike Malone would be the one. That's the guy I'm thinking. And me and Preston, one of our producers, was talking about that. I don't know if he's from New York, but he has New York connections. In fact, a friend of mine knows him. I'm going to reach out to him. I haven't spoken to him in a little while and see if he knows a little something. Maybe that he would give me some insights. But he would be the one. You get by the Celtics, you think you should be able to get by Indiana. So I know there's disappointment, but you still reach the conference finals. You got your core players all coming back. They're all under contract. Did they think they should have gotten further? You took Indiana to 6 games. No one else has done that. Cleveland only took them 5. Milwaukee only took them 5. So if you want to compare yourself to the other teams that the Pacers beat, at least you took them to 6. So the whole thing is kind of weird. That's it, that they like another coach who's out there so much that they're going to fire him. I'm not that impressed with him. I think he's a little overrated myself. I've seen enough Nick games where I scratch myself on the head and say, what is this guy doing? As far as designing plays and calling timeouts. I'm not a big fan of his. And I thought defensively they were atrocious this year, and he's supposed to be a defensive coach. But overall, I am surprised.
You have a very high standard for coaches, considering the expectations for the New York Knicks were probably fourth best, maybe fifth best in the East prior to the season. So, between Celtics first, Cavs second, probably Bucks third. I don't know where the Pacers were, probably sixth or seventh. It wasn't them. So maybe the Knicks slotted in a fourth spot. Got to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years, and what do? You get shown the door. It's a hard business being a coach in the NBA. You know what else is a hard business? These 5 on the line numbers, trends, different things. It worked again last night. We had a good night last night. Give the people what they want, Scott.
Yeah. Hard for others, easy for us. We give you the 5 best trends. I get a little goofy. 5 best trends of the games for tonight. So here we go. We call it 5 on the line. Yes, 4-1 last night, and we were one stinking run away from getting at least a push with the over Mets and Dodgers. And the Dodgers had 2 on, and nobody out. And nobody couldn't score another run to force a 4-4 tie. Otherwise, we would have went at least 4-0-1. But still 4-1, not going to complain. We're now 52 games over 500 since we've been doing this. So here we go, our 5 best baseball trends, all baseball tonight, obviously nothing else going on. So we'll start with number 5 down to the number 1 trend. A's 19-10 over at home this season. We know their pitching staff is the worst. It was the worst ERA in the month of May, close to 7. And tonight, oh, by the way, they're going with a bullpen by committee game. And you're bringing the worst bullpen in baseball into play for now 9 innings versus the usual 4 or 5. So where are we going to go, Dave? Pretty easy. It's a big number, but over 10 Minnesota at the Athletics.
Got this little note for you for this one. The A's have given up 8+ runs in each of their last 5 games. They look to avoid matching the franchise record of 6 straight games by the 1936 Philadelphia Athletics. If you don't like the game over, bet the Minnesota team total over. I like both. What's number 4?
All right, number 4, go back to the well from last night when we hit with Logan Webb. San Francisco's pitcher tonight, Landon Roop. Yeah, that was so good, right? Landon Roop. His number is 3.5. He's had 4 strikeouts in 8 of his 11 starts, 8-3 this season. So, to give it his 3.5, where are we going to go? Over. Landon Roop, San Francisco starting pitcher, 3.5. Little juice, minus 150, but, it doesn't pay. You don't pay the juice if you don't, lose the bet, as they say.
The only thing that scares me about this one, Scotty, is that Roop, back on April 30th in San Diego, labored a little bit against the Padres, needed 92 pitches to get through 4 1/3 innings. So hopefully tonight he can get through 5, get over 3.5 Ks. What's number 3?
Number 3, we've given you this one before. It's been pretty hot lately. Seattle, rather. 14-3 over their last 17 home games, taking on a bad Baltimore Orioles team. So where are we going to go? Over 8.5 Baltimore at Seattle.
Have to like
did this guy hit a home run?
Caglione?
Did he?
I don't know. I don't know. I missed it. No.
He did it. He flew out at the warning track.
Yeah, he just missed it. Hit it to the track. That would have been great. That's why I'm wearing the Royal stuff. I broke out the Bo Jackson today.
I see that.
I did. I like this a lot. I like the Mariners in the game. I can't believe that the number's that low, but Kirby hasn't been good. The game should go over. What's number 2?
All right, number 2 as we go from 5 down to 1. And you know this one. I'm surprised it's not number 1, Scott. A's 1-18 now, their last 19 games. I could bore you with all the numbers about how bad their pitching is, and they've been outscored 2.5-1 in this stretch. But the bottom line is they've lost 7 straight in 18 of 19. So Minnesota's got one of the best pitchers, Pablo Lopez on the hill as well. If you want to analyze it, where are we going to go? You got to lay the 2-1, right? Minnesota minus 2-1 against the Athletics.
Without a doubt, we'll save time. Won't even discuss this. Give the people number 1, the best play of the 5 on the line, please.
It's got to be a good one. If 1-18 is not number 1, right? Our number 1 coup de grace, creme de la creme, which honestly rarely loses. San Francisco 14-1, very quietly under. including 10 straight unders. With all the bad play about the Rockies and the A's, no one's even paying attention. We brought this up last night. It obviously hit easily with a 1-0 game. So where are we going to go? 14-1 under? Number one trend. Give me under 7.5 San Diego at San Francisco.
Like it. The Giants' offense has scored 4 runs or fewer in 15 straight games. That's like a pirate streak. So
wow.
Get that one in. Get that one under. It looks like another 4-1 to me, Wetzel. I like where we're at with 5 on the line.
Yeah, like I said, 4-1 last night. We hit with Detroit. We hit with over 4.5 strikeouts for Webb. Hit with under San Diego, San Francisco, and then we hit with Minnesota. And again, the only one we lost with was Mets over 9 against LA, which the Dodgers had a chance to tie it 4-4. So just getting underway. A lot to get to tonight, including Mr. Caglione. We'll talk about him and all the baseball news when we come back.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza. So he's rocking the Kansas City Royals outfit. Why today? Because in part, I imagine, Jack Caglione, they call him like the greatest prospect in the history of mankind. First time in Royals history since Bo Jackson that a guy that was drafted that year was actually called up. Watching MLB.com, and I like those guys. They did a pretty good job. Harold Reynolds does a terrific job man, they were singing the praises on this guy like he was, they were comparing him to Ohtani and Aaron Judge. I'm like, take it easy, guys. I mean, he was only the 6th overall pick, so how good could he really be? He wasn't even like the 1st overall pick, but two-way player of the year award. I'm thinking to myself, Dave, what other kind of player is there? I mean, unless the kid is just a DH, but I mean, all right, he throws the ball. He threw 99 apparently at college, but then they took him out of the pitcher spot and then used him. I don't know what position he played, but not a pitcher anymore. So anyway, he's supposed to be the real deal. First base. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Tells you he's really not that athletic in my world. If he's a first baseman at the age of 22, right? That's where people go to die in baseball, not at 22.
Whoa.
Well,
listen.
If you can't play anymore, where do you go? You go to first base. I played first base. I couldn't field. Well, I could field.
Yeah.
I had no arm in baseball. That was my
A
problem.
good first baseman can save a bunch of runs. I mean, a gold glove first baseman can really help a lot. And the game's changed. It's not just the guy that just hits and doesn't run the bases. He's very athletic, yes. They're teaching him how to play the outfield, okay? The Kansas City Royals have 7 home runs total this season from their outfield. 7. So
wow.
If he comes up and just does anything, it's going to be more production for the Royals from their outfield spots. So they've been waiting. I mean, look, the Royals, what is that? 3-8 in their last 11 home games, 9-2 for the Cardinals in last 11 home games. So the price indicates that the Cardinals are going to win, but the excitement level for Royals fans, for anyone that bets the Royals, he's probably 1, 2, or 3 most bet on guy to hit a home run today in his major league debut.
Wow.
He hasn't done it yet, but my guys in the books are telling me, man, they're betting this Caglione guy like it's done, like it's over already. So flew out his first at bat. Kansas City leads 2-0, bottom in the second. So, where's he hitting in the lineup? I didn't even look. Where they put him at?
I think it was 5th. I think Kansas City put a
1,
runner
2,
on, and
3,
he led off
4,
the second.
5, 6th.
6th, okay.
He's batting 6th and DHing.
Not bad.
Now, if it's any indication, like they got him away from pitching right away. The Dodgers are trying to get Ohtani back to pitching this season, which still makes no sense. I mean, last night that Mets-Dodgers game was electric. It was really a fun baseball game. A lot of people hopefully stayed up and watched it back east. I mean, it's a perfect time for us out west. We were watching it. I was watching it live. Ohtani hit a home run, got a sac fly to push the game to extras. Would have worked out perfectly for us. But Caglione's coming in with this expectation, Scott. You know how hard that is when you come in with the expectations, right?
Yeah, that's tough. Like I said, I mean, they're comparing him to Ohtani and Judge, for goodness sakes. I mean, give the kid a break here. I'll tell you a quick little story, Dave. I had a guy that used to listen to the podcast. He passed away, Eddie in Port Charlotte. Great guy, right? Older gentleman. He used to go to all the minor league, all the preseason games, rather. And he would send me Red Sox, yearbooks of the preseason guys before the season began. And I'm telling you, I opened up this book, and it's usually about 15, 20 pages, typical yearbook. And every single guy, I mean like 40 guys, were all hitting 320, 25 homers, 115 RBIs. Every pitcher was 10-2 with an ERA of 1.15. I was like, if all these guys are great in the minor, where the hell are they, And none of those guys would ever get called up. So the numbers for these minor league players are so skewed, so just throw them out the window, because there were a list, like I said, a list of 20 guys, 30 guys, I swear to God, that were like the greatest numbers in the world. And yet I don't know how many of them actually became majors, but not that many. So I temper the enthusiasm with this kid. He's better off being on a good team where he could just kind of fit in versus, okay, kid, you're the face of the franchise right now. And that's basically what he is, next to Bobby Witt Jr.
Right. Bobby Witt Jr., I was going to say, first, and then this guy, to come help him. 13 and they've lost 13 of the last 20 games. It's time for the Royals to kind of turn the season around. So you get them up in early June, see what happens. You're right about the minor league stuff, though. Like when I lived in Pittsburgh growing up, the minor leagues were just a thing that you read about in the paper. You never really looked at anything, But I live in Las Vegas now this is year number 23. So we're a baseball, softball family, so we go to the games. We go to the minor league games, and the Aviator games. It's a major league facility, but it's still AAA. The atmosphere is very different here. Balls fly out. Numbers are skewed. The power numbers for hitters very high. If you get a pitcher here with an ERA under 4, I mean, he's really pitching well, and it's probably going to translate really well to the major leagues. And if they're striking people out here, because it's difficult, the ball doesn't break. We're at almost 2,500 elevation here in Vegas, and it's thin air, so the ball flies out. There's a lot of places I think you're right. The numbers do get skewed. By the way, it's Skeens Day today. Did you have any opinion on the Pirates and Astros today? Because I liked under. We got under 7.5. That's looking good. Tired of betting the Pirates when Skeens pitches though, because they don't win. They've lost 7 of his 12 starts. It's no good.
7. Wow, that's amazing. I played his over 6.5. He's got back into his strikeout groove, although I see he only has 5 through 6 2/3. So he just got another one. All right, so maybe he's got 6. But they bring him out for the 7th or for the 8th inning in a 1-0 game. He's thrown 82 pitches.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that'd be close. I would in a 1-0 game, but that'd be a little dicey. I usually don't play over 6.5s, but I did today. Like you said, he's been playing pretty good. The Tigers line dropped quite a bit against the White Sox. Any reason why? Must have been a pitching change. It was down to like minus 148.
Yeah, why?
We'll look at that game.
They're going to win.
Yeah, very strange. We'll look at the game when we come back. SGP as well.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, insane. Basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Third segment, hour number 1. You know what time it is? Time for our SGP same game parlay. All right, time to capitalize. We've moved away from the Colorado Rockies with their win, and they're tied tonight, oh, by the way. So we pushed them aside, and now we gravitate towards the Athletics, who are just as atrocious, at least at this point, losing 18 of 19. So let's use that game day for our SGP and see if we can get the winner tonight. We'll use Minnesota, minus the 198. Won't get too greedy. Surprised that they allowed us to kind of use Minnesota first five as well. They did, minus 146. It actually bumped the parlay up about 75 points or so. This is a bullpen by committee game for the A's. So if they're going to lose, then they're going to lose from the get-go. Let's use over 5.5 runs, Minnesota. They should be good for 6. The A's have been giving up runs like they're going out of style. Byron Buxton is the leadoff hitter. He's one of their main guys. Let's use 2 bases. 1 didn't do anything, so we got to use 2. Hopefully he gets a double or triple or home run. Minus 120. He's going to get on base, a double. Figure he's going to score a run. That was minus 230. And then Carlos Correa, who has only 18 RBIs. Very, very weird. Boy, you talking about taking the money and running. He has done that for Minnesota. 1 RBI plus 110. I mean, they should score 20 runs tonight. You would think a guy batting 5th or 6th should be able to get at least 1 RBI, and they're giving you plus 110 on that. So add it all up, not a great payout. Again, this is one of those that I thought would register a little bit more, but the RO correlated. Basically, at 5.5 to 1 plus 547.
This looks good. The Twins have dominated the A's going back as far as, let me see here. I got it. 17 of 20 head-to-head games between these two teams since the start of 2022. That is tied for the most lopsided series in the majors over that span. So, I mean, the Twins should win. You found a creative way to take the price down and get it to something a little better. I hope it's not him that gets you, Correa, because you'll be hot. Yeah, you'll be mad that you included him. You're trying to find different ways to involve different things. So I get it. I hope it's not him that beats you. But Buxton's been pretty good too. So, I mean, I like him. This looks pretty good. What is this, a 6-piece? You did a 6-piece tonight?
Yeah, we did 6er. We had to. I kept on doing different pieces, and it was going up like 40 points each. It's like, what is the point? And then I finally threw the Correa one in there, and then boom, it went up like 200 points. So I was like, all right, you know what? You suckered me in. Give me the plus 110. The guy he's got 18 RBIs. He was terrific with the Houston Astros, but since he's gone to Minnesota, 291 his first year. That wasn't too bad. 230. Did hit 310 last year, but only 86 games. The guy's always hurt. And he's down to 246 again this year. Home run power is gone. He was hitting in the 20s with Houston. He's got 40, 50. He's got 59 home runs in 4 seasons with Minnesota. Yeah. So it's the home run power has disappeared for whatever reason. But paid him a ton of money too. Anyway, hopefully he's our guy.
It happens. It happens. Change of venue, health, another year older, you're right. Yeah. And you don't do everything the same that you did 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I mean, you're on the same team, but it happens. I got to ask you, Phillies, Blue Jays, you see this first inning? I mean, what the Phillies did to the Blue Jays? 7 runs.
No.
They
were
lit
in
them
the
up.
First, were they? Wow.
Well, 6 in the first, 1 in the second. There hasn't been a run since. Only 1 hit total for the Blue Jays, even though they won 5 straight games. One of those situations where, you got a really cheap price on the Phillies. You're looking pretty good. The in-game number for that is minus 7.5. It looks like a football line. There's not even a money line at my book. They turned the money line off. Yeah, it's done. Minus 7.5.
FanDuel has it at 200 to 1.
Oh,
I mean, I admire FanDuel for putting a number up there, but what is, what's the point? Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I mean, it's not worth it. I'll just put a team in there. Yankees are minus 390, right? So Yankees and the Phillies drops the line from minus 390 to minus 381. For 9 cents, it's not worth, the Blue Jays making some crazy comeback or even scoring 3 or 4 runs and you sweating it out and saying, what did I do? How stupid was that? It's just not even worth it. But
just to say you did it maybe, but it's definitely not worth it for the money. You're not helping anything.
Not at all. Not at all. Tom Vecchio, talk some baseball with him coming up next here on the Grid.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, and saying basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number one, checking out some baseball stuff, little playoff hockey, playoff NBA as well as we welcome in our good buddy Tom Vecchio, SportsGrid host. You see it here all the time here on the Grid. What's going on, Tom? How are you tonight, bud?
I'm doing good. We're getting some baseball winners come through, on the last out, bottom five for the Yanks, first five, that's coming through. Still waiting for some players to get hits. That's my main action of the day. Need Seiya Suzuki from the Cubs and Aaron Judge each to have one hit. Then cash my main play, but I'm doing great. It's good to be here.
All right. Good to see you. Looking good, sounded good, feeling good. We got a baseball night only tonight, so we'll ask you about a couple of the games coming up this evening. And then we'll get to hopefully some hockey because Stanley Cup, starts tomorrow. Mets and Dodgers tonight. All right. We had a really good game last night. Lindor hits another bomb. The Mets win again when he hits a home run. The price tonight against Clayton Kershaw looks so appealing to me as a plus, but other people would say the Dodgers at this cheap price is the play. You got a side, total, prop, anything in this game, Tom?
Yeah, I'm on the Dodgers money line. Kershaw hasn't been himself since he returned, but this is really just about a play overall on the Dodgers. They're this good of a team. They don't lose, X amount of games in a row that often. I'm willing to go to a money line like that. I was on the Phillies a lot this past weekend against the Brewers. I kept telling myself the same thing. Oh, they're good. They're not going to lose. And they ended up getting swept. So, it happens sometimes, but the Dodgers are awesome. And the Mets, they're a good team. Their pitching staff is there. I don't know if their hitting can ultimately keep up with the Dodgers. So I like the Dodgers money line. It's minus 142. I think it's the right side to be on ultimately.
All right. Can you make a case, Tom, for the A's? And I'm not trying to. I'm not. But it just looks so obvious because they got the worst bullpen in baseball. It had an ERA of 6.88 in the month of May. That was the worst. And now they're going to a bullpen by committee game tonight against the Twins, who are red hot. And they got one of their best pitchers in Pablo Lopez on the hill. It's up to minus 210 now. A run and a half is minus 128. Any reason not to play Minnesota tonight?
So I am on Minnesota. I'm on Minnesota first 5 and Minnesota full game. But the question is, can we make an argument for the Athletics? So just objectively, if I didn't have a side or anything in this game, I would say, yes, you can make an argument in favor of the Athletics money line. It's super hot there, right? And not just the elevation and the temperature, but the stadium is obviously very different. It's a minor league stadium, and not just in terms of the dimensions of it, but the fact that it's built where it's very open, that means the weather and the wind will impact things more than a stadium that has, full stands surrounding it. So with it being hotter and great hitting weather, that means there's more variance. So Pablo Lopez can run into trouble because the A's lineup is good. Like, their pitching is terrible, but they got some hitters in that lineup. So with hotter temperatures, the variance will be higher. That's why we do see a 10 over under. So he can run into trouble just because fly balls end up going out, and that's how the Athletics win. They win this game like 7-5. They don't win this game 2-1.
Look at the Orioles and the Mariners later tonight. Kirby, who was good but hasn't been good recently, going against Sagano. And you look at this, I mean, I got this today. Sagano has been the Orioles' most consistent starter. I can't believe it. Limiting opponents to 3 runs or fewer in 10 of his 11 starts this season. This screams under to me. I don't want to try to pick the winner. Anything from this game for you, Tom?
So I consider the Mariners money line, again, just based on the fact that, good teams aren't going to lose. It would be a lower scoring game. I think the Orioles offense may be turning a corner a little bit compared to some of the struggles that they had earlier in the season, but it's probably under or nothing from this game. You could say that like Cal Raleigh gets there on his own, where he could give you 2 home runs and puts up, 4 or 5 runs. And then maybe if the Orioles chip in 2 of their own, then we're kind of dealing with a little bit of a sweat. But I would say it's under and Mariners. Kirby's a great pitcher. He just needs to start to find his rhythm after, missing the beginning portion of the season.
All right, little hockey. Stanley Cup begins tomorrow, Tom. The money is trickling in on Edmonton. I know when the Oilers were finishing off the Stars, Florida was a slight favorite. But now it's flipped. Nothing crazy, but now it is Edmonton minus 128, at least on FanDuel, and Florida is the solid underdog at plus 106. Your thoughts on the Cup, which begin tomorrow?
So I have a couple different positions in this. I have the Oilers to win 4-2 at plus 500, and Oilers to win 4-3 at plus 400. They've moved. It's 490 and 390 now, whatever it is. But I do think the Oilers get it done, and it's not going to be easy. Like, I don't think the series is going to be a 3-0 on one side, then a swing back to a 3-0 as we saw last year. I think it's just going to go back and forth the entire time. So I have a couple thoughts on it. Oilers get it done. It won't be easy. If they win, they will win late. A lot of people are saying, like, oh, how does the series play out? Like, if the Panthers can win the series, it could be in 5 games. But if the Oilers are going to win, it's probably going to take them 6 or 7 type of series. The loss to Zach Hyman is absolutely massive, but we've seen some really good performances from Corey Perry this postseason, in the Stanley Cup playoffs for them. So I expect him, the player, to continue to step up and learning from the mistakes that they were last year, going down 0-3. That is something that they have to remedy, and it has to start early, because if you actually look at some of the metrics from last year and just the series overall, they actually outscored Florida. Now, some of those games were 8-1, 5-2, 6-3, all that, but they played really well outside of a couple coin flips that didn't go in their favor in the first 3 games. So if they can learn from those mistakes, they're in a shot to take the series, but it's going to be tough.
Can't wait to watch it, Tom. I think it's going 6 or 7 games. Still torn on the side for me overall. I thought something's different with Edmonton, but as I get closer and closer to actually the series starting, I'm going, you know what? Florida's still the champ, and they're nasty. I think they're more physical. I'm leaning Florida. As far as the games to the totals, all right, it's 5.5 in game 1. We talked about it yesterday, Scott and I, and I'm
seeing 6.5. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Game 1 6.5, but it's juiced under now.
Yeah,
6.5 is. Yes, that's the number. Do you feel like the games are going to go over or under more? Because we had a prop like total number of goals by each team around 25.
Right.
I don't know. I think there's going to be a couple games that are low scoring, but there may be one or two that are really high scoring. What do you think?
Yeah, so generally I play these where it's like the first 3 games you can take overs, but then after that we're like hard unders, where I'm willing to take alt unders, where it'll be 5.5. I'll be willing to take alt unders, 4.5, alt under 3.5, say plus 200, plus 250, up to 300, just because I think games will end 2-1. So early scoring, totally on board with that, especially if they hang a 5.5 out there, which I don't think will happen until game 3 or 4. But an early amount of scoring, and then it's just back to the unders time and time again.
How about can Florida score 1 goal? This is one of my favorites in every game, minus 340.
I mean, they can. I wouldn't lay that price at minus 340. So it's a shutout. And every game is normally at like plus 600. So you'd have to have a 600 rolling bet. You might as well take the it's tough to – there are other ways to play it than to say Florida will score a goal in every single game. I think you can just be on the other side, and more often than not, you'll just take random shots at plus money rather than laying minus 340. That's how I would go about it, because the Oilers will win one of these games 2-0.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that was the other question. The follow-up question to that is, will there be 3+ goals scored in every game?
No.
And you think there will be a game with less than 3 goals?
Well, if Bob Brofsky can do that by himself, and Stuart Skinner's looked much better. I got to give him credit. I'm not a big believer in Stuart Skinner, but he has been better, and the system in front of him has been excellent. So one of these games could end 2-1 or 2-0 or 1-0. So I would not lay money on 3 goals in every game if that was it.
Okay. All right. Big topic is Connor McDavid, Tom. 14 points. Can he set the record for most points in a final, breaking Gretzky's mark at 14?
What's the odds on that?
Plus 610. Pretty good payout.
I don't mind it, and you could probably work that in with the series going over 5.5, 7+ games exactly, because that's what we'll probably need. So you can play that, and there's other ways to get to it as well.
Yeah. I think on FanDuel, anywhere where I saw it, they don't allow parlays with that, unfortunately. Sometimes they do. Some days they don't. Well, stop it. Up next, though. SportsGrid host. Yeah.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. They're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, and saying basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career, is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks again, Tom Vecchia, Sports Grid host here on the radio and TV side of things. See him here all the time, joining us, getting his thoughts on the Stanley Cup and a couple of baseball games that are going on and will be going on here in a little bit. So to the board we go. In baseball, a couple of things here that are shockers. The Colorado Rockies might be winning 2 in a row for the first time all season. They lead Miami heading to the bottom of the 8th inning, 3-2. Everything is locked up, so I'm guessing pitching change because I don't think the inning has started yet in the bottom of the 8th. So the Marlins have 2. The Miami Marlins would lose twice to Colorado. Oh, my goodness. It's a team that had 8 road wins all season, and or 8 wins all season, and they're going to lose twice, 9 wins all season, whatever it was. Astros lead your Pirates 1-0. Paul Skeens. We talked about it in the break, Dave. There's nobody there. That's the sad thing. Like, people were talking about, is he going to be traded? And there's no way you can't do it, blah, 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 blah. But if he's not bringing fannies into the stadium, then it's like, it makes it a lot easier, I will say, for the Pirates organization to at least listen to some offers at the trade deadline.
I don't want to hear this. Not right now.
But
please.
Still.
Please. I don't want to hear this right now. Please. I mean, come on. We don't need that kind of discussion tonight. It would be nice to get a couple runs when he pitches. That's the main issue. Yeah. He keeps leaving in the 7th inning, only giving up 1 run and being the losing pitcher on record. Unless they get something in the bottom of the ninth, they got to get out of this top of the ninth without giving up a run and then maybe tie it and see what happens. We get the extras. Who knows? Yeah, it's a complete bummer. The Rockies, an interesting case study, because from the book standpoint, you got to be on the right side when they finally win. I mean, you only win 9 games up to yesterday. You're getting destroyed. Your figure on the Rockies is just like, man, you're going to be contemplating taking them off the board at some point. You don't do that, but they win last night. We were on them. We talked about it, that they were live. Said the same thing this morning. I would have lowered the price on the Marlins and tried to get a bet on the Marlins and need the Rockies again. I don't know. We'll have to go look. This will be the first time they won back-to-back games all season, probably, right? I mean, it hasn't happened. Yeah. I mean, they only got this will be it. So It's not done yet. What's the end game for that? Let's see.
Plus 260 on the Marlins. 2 at bats.
Just went to plus $3 here.
Wow. Plus 360. It's got to be a couple out, or at least 1 out anyway.
2 out. 1 out. Bottom of the 8th now, yeah. So, wow. All right. So that's under. The Astros and Pirates is under. Cubs just keep scoring. Boy, they're up 8-3 against the Nationals in the top of the 7th. Yankees under 1-0 after 6. Phillies 7-1, top of 6. That game's not over the total yet, but it should be soon. What's up with your Red Sox? Down 3-1. Bottom of the 5th. Man.
Is the All-Star break coming up?
Not yet.
Not yet? Nope. Boy, you talk about a team that needs a break, right? We not joked. I mean, we were, I was semi-serious about Cora getting fired. I mean, just signed an extension, and Jeff Dawson, who we had on East Coast Sports Investors, said that, he's like managing, like he wants to be fired. So, after you see Thibodeau get fired today, bringing up any manager or head coach being fired is not out of the question. I used to say that about trades. When they traded Wayne Gretzky, that stopped any talk about, well, this guy's never going to get traded in my world. It's just like, you know what? If Wayne Gretzky can get traded, anybody can get traded. So not that Thibodeau's on that level, but you know what? Saying that someone might get fired, anyone. These owners are all multi-billionaires, so they're not worried about the money that they have to pay these guys. So they're losing again 3-1. I mean, they've lost to some bad teams too. It's not just that they're a few games under 500. And falling further from the playoff spot, but they're losing to the Angels at home. They're losing to the White Sox. They're just losing to those 2 out of 3 to Baltimore. I mean, I would normally I'd say grab them plus 158 right now, the bottom of the 5th, but their bullpen stinks even if they do come back like they did last night.
Right.
So I would stay away. I just as soon take a flyer on the Braves at plus 310. Against Arizona than I would, because Arizona's bullpen stinks, than I would the Red Sox. In fact, I think that's actually happening. Down 5-3. Give me the Braves plus 310. I would take a little flyer on that.
it's funny because the total in the Red Sox game, it's only 3-1, and it is the bottom of the fifth. Total's still 8.5. That seems a little bit heavy right now.
Yeah.
The way the game's going, but you just said it. The Red Sox bullpen has been very generous to overbetters. So maybe, caution, put that, it just locked up. I don't know what happened, but 2 out in the bottom of the fifth. So we'll see if anybody gets on. Snow's still 8.5. Under 8.5, minus 105. Might be to play right now. I'm not worried about it. Maybe. I'm not. You didn't sound sold. You didn't sound sold there.
Well, just because their bullpen stinks. So, and I'm rooting for the Red Sox to come back. So if they do that, then that's at least 7 runs. So I probably would stay away. I'd stay away. No score Tigers, White Sox. There was a pitching change. Flaherty was supposed to start tonight. He didn't. What happened?
No, Flaherty started yesterday. He was good.
Not Flaherty.
For the Tigers.
No, Skubal.
So
wasn't Skubal yesterday?
No,
Flaherty was supposed to be today.
Flaherty was yesterday. Yeah, Flaherty was yesterday.
Okay.
The Astros just scored 2 runs against the Pirates. So someone named Isaac Paredes hit a home run, 2-run homer. Jeremy Pena scores. It's 3-0 Astros. Another loss for Skeens coming. At least the game's going to stay.
That's right. He'll suffer the
total.
loss on this one.
Yeah.
Because he gave it the 1 run in 7th.
Yeah. No, speaking of losses, what about this Black Cloud play of the night coming up? Last night, pretty much a cruise, right? That was easy.
You know what? I don't even know what he ended up with. I turned it off after he got 6. We only needed 5. So
who?
Logan Webb. What did he end up with?
Double check right now. I think I saw him at least with 7. But
I was going to say 7
right now.
Right?
You know, all the road teams won yesterday. 7 games. All the road teams won yesterday. How about that?
Yeah, they did. How about that? All underdog. Well, Brewers Reds may have been picking or so, but that Tigers were favorites. Yeah, Black Cloud coming up next.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interested in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, insane. Basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live Game Day on the Grid, closing out hour number 1. Scott and Dave until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You know what we do? Final segment, little Black Cloud Play of the Day. These are the plays you can't just lose. You just can't lose. If you're a dollar player, put $2, double your bet. Heck, really stretch and open a wallet, maybe even $3. That's how successful these plays are. They just can't lose. Gave you another winner last night with Logan Webb. Easy number with 4.5 strikeouts. So we're now 41-20. 41 winners, only 20 losers with our Black Cloud Play of the Day. So where are we going to go today? I'm going to be generous, Dave, and I'm going to say, you know what, with Minnesota, I'm not going to lay the 2-1, even though we're playing with house money. We'd be in 21 games over 500. But I'll lay the 1.5. Give me the Twinkies minus 1.5 runs. A's, you know the numbers. They've lost 18 of 19. They've been outscored 2.5 to 1 on average in these 19 games. You got one of the best pitchers for Minnesota, Pablo Lopez, on the hill for the Twins. You got a bullpen by committee game, which is the worst of the worst for the A's. Why? Because they are creme de la creme, as we like to say, coup de grace, number 1 worst bullpen in baseball. Worse than Colorado, Scott? Worse than Colorado. Worse than the Red Sox? Worse than the Red Sox. The Orioles. The Arizona Diamondbacks? The guy, the Phillies bullpen sucks. It can't be worse than Philly. Worse than them all, Dave. 6.16 ERA. And now they're going to have 5, 6, 7 of those guys, I imagine, pitch tonight. And you got a Minnesota team that's 19-7 their last 26 games. I mean, you know what? I'll tip. You know, if Minnesota wins by 1, I'll accept it as a loss. I mean, it will be a loss, but this is one of those times I won't, make you lay 2-1. Minnesota should win this one. I will say 5 of their 18 losses have been by 1 run, but I don't think it's going to be tonight. Give me Minnesota laying the 1.5.
I don't think so either. You mentioned it, 19-7. That dates back to May 3rd. So that's actually tied with the St. Louis Cardinals for the best record in the majors for the Minnesota Twins. That's 1 calendar month. They actually have the best record in baseball. We got a minus 1.5 at Sacramento against a bad bullpen, the worst bullpen on a bullpen game. I mean, you want to see if you got Black Cloud Power? Cloud Power. This we'll see if you got Black Cloud Power, because this one should win and should win comfortably. This will be officially a bad beat if we don't get this one, because you got Lopez on the hill, as well. So you got road team minus 1.5 with their best pitcher against a bullpen game. Stranger things have happened. I don't want to put the complete Maloik on it, but man, oh man, this one looks good.
Yeah. And the A's used 3 relievers yesterday. And not that they can't, pitch on back-to-back days, but still, the second time around you see a pitcher, it's certainly going to help Minnesota's cause. So, this is the one. Although the only thing I will say is, I know it's on the road, but shouldn't that line be more than minus 210 regular line? It was like minus 190. I put it in early this afternoon at minus 198. Shouldn't that be like minus 230, 240? I mean,
I think you have to caution now when you take the bets, like in the book, anything close to a $2 favorite on the road is a lot. I mean, that's a lot. So you have to have, Cy Young, or you have to have, a pitcher, Pedro Martinez back in the day, a dominant guy on the road pitching. Not that Pablo Lopez isn't a good pitcher, but I don't know if Pablo Lopez warrants minus 250 on the road against anybody, even Oakland, or Sacramento, or Las Vegas, or whatever they are, the A's. So I think that's why that number is what it is. I mean, really peaking over 200 is rarefied air for road teams in baseball.
Still 1-0 Texas and Tampa Bay. The Ranger unders keep on pouring in. It's amazing. Let me just double check and make sure that's not a no-hitter. I don't think it is, but it's early on anyway. But we always like to kind of keep track of these things. It's not a no.
I got breaking news for you here too from guy Jared Carabas. Congratulations to the Boston Red Sox on tying the Colorado Rockies in errors this season. They have the most errors in baseball this season. Oh, it's one of those
what
years.
A mess. Yeah,
Man, your
one of those
team,
years.
my team, it's just no good.
Joe Madden Hockey Talk coming up next.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, insane. Basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid on this terrific Tuesday. Got a full slate of baseball. We got Stanley Cup. It's the pregnant pause still for the NHL. They begin tomorrow. NBA begins on Thursday, so plenty of time to break it all down. So with that, why don't we bring in my partner in crime on Saturdays and Sundays, Joe Madden, talk a little pucks with Joe. What's going on, Joe? How are you on this Tuesday?
I'm doing perfect. It's a beautiful Tuesday. One more sleep until we get action out there on the ice, and I can hardly wait for the puck to drop on game number 1. But we definitely have some series bets. I hope you guys like a couple of what I have for you here, you guys.
Good to see you, Joe. Always welcome here during the week because I know you talk to Wetzel enough on the weekends. You guys do great work. You do those long shows. God bless you both. It's good to see you. Hockey's had a couple days off. This is good. I think we're in for an electric series. I mean, I think a game, it's going at least 6, maybe 7. I can't wait. I'm going back and forth all week on the side. I really don't know. Do you have a definitive side and or number of games, Joe, that, you feel like right now you want to give to the people?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And it might be a head scratcher for some Calgary Flames fans out there, but I have to go with the Edmonton Oilers in 7. I look at the Edmonton Oilers and how they have played this season. Now, I did think the Kings would take them out in the first round when they weren't 100%. With the Kings allowing them to get past them in that first round, each and every single game out there, they have got better. Stuart Skinner has got better. This team is clicking on all levels, and all of those lines are able to convert those goals. So I do think Edmonton is a different team this year. And now I know the Florida Panthers were able to get it done last year. We know what happened in that Stanley Cup final, how Florida went out first, Edmonton fought back, and Florida closed out in game number 7. I think Edmonton here, this is a back and forth battle, and I do think we're going to see some high-scoring games, some low-scoring games, some tight games, some blowouts. I think it's going to be an absolute battle to the very end, all the way to game number 7. But Edmonton, they're just clicking at a different level this season. This is the best Edmonton team that I've ever seen play, and I do think Connor McDavid will lead this team to victory.
All right, let's start there then, because you have kids in college. I have kids in college. Dave has kids in college. A straight series bet, that's not going to cut it here at In-Game Live, right? We need odds. We need winning that are going to pay 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1. So you mentioned the most overrated player in the game today, Connor McDavid. What are we going to do with him, Joe? How are we going to capitalize on, no doubt, the great success that he's going to have in this series?
What are we going to do with you, Scott? Should be the question here of the night. I don't even know what to say. Connor McDavid, the most overrated as a Flames fan. It does kill me that the best player out there, other than Nate, I look at Nathan McKinnon as well. But Connor McDavid is just on such a level. And while he's in Edmonton, I can give the hate onto him when we're playing against him, but I have to respect him as a player out there on the ice. And there's no way I'm not respecting him in the Cup Finals. If you think Edmonton's going to win, you have to think Connor McDavid is going to be the catalyst that really drives this team. And we know Leon Draisaitl has been right there alongside him. But I do think it's Connor McDavid. It's the Connor McDavid Stanley Cup Finals, and we all have to give him the respect. So I'm going to look here. You could look at something just like him to get the most points of the series. Probably one of the safer bets. It's coming in at plus 125. I don't want safe. Like you said, Scott, I've got kids that they cost me a fortune, it feels like. So Connor McDavid to hit 14 plus points, that puts him at the Stanley Cup final record, tied with or breaks Wayne Gretzky's record of points in the Stanley Cup finals. So that's coming in at plus 610 for him to score those 14 points. If you want to, again, play it cautiously, you could take those 10 points at minus 106, but I'll scrap that. I'm going to look at the goals. I do think Connor McDavid is in for one hat trick at least in this series, and with it going 7, I have to look for him to do what he did in those last couple games versus the Stars. Last 2 games versus the Stars, he was able to get 3 goals. If he gets a hat trick and continues to roll with momentum after game 1, 7 plus goals at plus 2,600. I couldn't say no, you guys.
I saw Sam Bennett's name on there, Joe. I like that. It's really hard to come up with a Florida 1 or 2 or 3 to really separate themselves. Why Sam Bennett on this list? Plus 320 is pretty good for the kids in college thing, but why you put Bennett on there?
Yeah, you look at Sam Bennett out here and you look at his ability to get those goals. He's been fantastic out there for the Florida Panthers, leading this team in goals in this in the playoffs thus far. And I do think he's going to be so impactful for his team. Now, Edmonton could be able to limit him for those goal scoring because they know how strong he has been at doing so. But I do think even if he's not scoring the goals, he's getting the assists. So I had to look at him for the 7 plus points in the series, coming in at plus 320. I'm always looking for that value. There's some other guys out there you could take for their points, but I just think he has the best ability to get those 7 points, and he's giving me the best value for the Florida Panthers at plus 320. And then when we look at Edmonton, it's got to be Evan Bouchard, the offensive defenseman out there, just firing that puck incredibly from the blue line. He might not always get the goal, but then he's able to record the assist as the other players crash that net, get that rebound, and shoot it in. So Evan Bouchard for 7 plus points for the Edmonton Oilers at plus 178. Again, not the best number out there, but at plus 178, I do think Evan Bouchard for 7 plus points, it's a pretty nice bet.
If you think Edmonton then, Joe, in 7, would you be willing to play over 35.5 goals, which would be 5 goals a game?
I would look at the over 35.5. Yeah, I definitely would look at that. I had that in the Edmonton and Stars series as well for them to go over that 35.5 goals. I'm looking at this one with it going 7. I do think we're going to have one game where one of these goaltenders gets a shutout. I do think we're going to have another very low 2-1 scoring game, but I think there's going to be a handful of games that do make up for it, where we have that back and forth battle, where we see Edmonton collapse on the kill and the Florida Panthers be able to come out, convert on their power play. That's definitely what Edmonton can't do, and they have to give Stuart Skinner the support. They want lower scoring games. Don't be confused here with the Edmonton Oilers. This is a team that wants to focus on that defense. They want to give the support to Stuart Skinner, but I just can't see it happening. There's no denying what the Florida Panthers can do offensively. Their 5-on-5 hockey, their depth out there is absolutely outstanding. My heart's with Florida. My money's on Edmonton.
I like it. The boys did a great job with the graphic too here of players to score 3+ goals. Look at this thing. Ooh. Now you got multiple guys, 2 on each team. Yeah. Is there one that you feel actually more strongly about on this list, or are we pretty good with all 4 of these?
You know, I feel so good about all 4 of these guys. Like I said, I do think we're going to have ebbs and flows during this series. And some of these guys we're going to have to sweat out to that very last game. But you look at Brad Marchand, he's got to come out for the Florida Panthers, incredibly strong. He is one of those players that has that ability to get those 3+ goals. It could even be, again, in one single game. You look at Corey Perry now on that top line with Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And when we look at Corey Perry and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on that line with Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid for 3+ goals, you're not getting the value, but you're looking at those 2 lines that are there with Connor McDavid, and I do think both of those guys should come out so phenomenally strong. And then the last one is Matthew Tkachuk. We can't deny what Matthew Tkachuk can do out there on the ice. I do think he's going to be a pivotal part for the Florida Panthers. This is a battle, remember. This is what the press is making it, the players are making it. It's Tkachuk versus McDavid, and these 2 are going to show up big time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good series to bet. I think we're going to get a lot of goals scored in these games, and the way it's set up, I think we're going to go at least 6. I do. I don't think it's going to go 7, but it should be a lot of fun. Joe, great job as always. We will see you on Saturday when you and I hook up between 5 and 8 p.m. here on the Grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks again, Joe Madden, SportsGrid Radio TV host I work with on Saturdays and Sundays here on the Grid. Always fun talking with her. And, well, I will say, I got to throw this out there. I had forgotten, she had told me over the weekend that she's got tickets to Game 7 between Edmonton and Florida, which means you know what? There's not going to be a Game 7. I know there's the Wetzel Black Cloud, but I think there's a man in Black Cloud as well. Just her being associated with me. It's not her. It's me. Blame me. So the chances of her having a Game 7, you know what? You better bet Edmonton or Florida in 5 or 6, whatever it is. I don't think it's going 7. So anyway, the case in point, the one game we talked about that I said I wouldn't bet, right? Red Sox down 3-1, their bullpen stings, but of course they tie at 3-3. So Braves have done nothing. They're still trailing 5-3. And White Sox have grabbed a 1-0 lead over Detroit. That's not good. So, and then our boy Caglione is 0 for 2 now. So,
actually, I saw the third at bat. He's 0 for 3.
Okay.
He grounded out on a play that you talked about, the center fielder catching a ball on his first at bat. Nolan Arenado made a Gold Glove play to rob him of a hit in his other at bat here that I just saw. So, one of those situations that, yes, you're now in the big league, son. So, good luck with that. It was a really good play.
Right? Yeah. Those are 2 hits that if you're in the minors, you're 2 for 3 tonight. And that's why some of these minors numbers, right?
Yeah.
I know the one I saw, the center fielder made a hell of a catch. He was running, got into the warning track, and then leaped and made the catch. So that's at least a double, if not a triple, if it's down in the minor. And that's why some of the numbers can be kind of skewed. It's tough getting base hits in the majors, man. It really is just it's crazy with the gloves being 50 feet long and everything else, and these guys being fast as Gazelle. So
no, I mean the defensive play of Major League Baseball is really a marvel. Like when you watch Major League Baseball on the regular, you see these guys make plays that are just I just sit back and watch it in awe, and they make it look so easy. Hitting a baseball, I still think is the hardest thing to do in sports, but fielding a baseball, playing third base in the bigs, watching the middle infielders make these plays that they make, and then outfielders tracking balls down and stuff, it's really, really hard, to get a hit in the big leagues. It's 1-0 White Sox, you said, by the way. You get the Tigers plus money. I mean, how do you pass on that? No?
Yeah. With that White Sox bullpen? Yeah.
Gotta be a play.
I would think so. That's got to be play. Plus 132. You got 4 at bats still, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, right? You got decent. I would do that. We'll put a little flyer on that one. Let me throw some NBA stuff.
Alerting us. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do the NBA stuff. Come on.
Yep. All right. So I got some plays here on FanDuel that I found under NBA final specials, and we'll go over a couple of these. So the records, yes. I'll give you the best ones that I think are worth a shot. I'm a little surprised at this one. The team to score 149 points, and that includes overtime. All these bets all include overtime. Some bets don't, believe it or not, but they're giving you 17-1 on that one, Dave. Can a team score 149 points? And I will tell you, OKC scored 149 against, I think it was Denver. I think it was the Denver series they did. So
that's a
get a game to go to overtime. I know, but it's 2025.
17
You get a game to go to overtime?
The totals are in the 230s. So, I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in this series, but that's a lot of points. I don't know.
No?
I don't. No, I don't think so. I don't know.
All right.
Not a fan of that one. What else?
How about player breaks the finals record? 8 steals in a game. I'm thinking, not Wembanyama, but I'm thinking the other Gazelle there. What's his face? Holmgren. He likes to make those goofy steals. He didn't play in either game against Indiana, so they haven't faced him. So they don't know what to really kind of how to work that. He gotten 3 or 4. He hasn't gotten 8, but 100-1.
Boy, you're trying to really pay for the whole year of college in one shot here, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
I mean, what are you doing? I mean, 100-1? 100? 8 steals in a game? What's the NBA Finals record? 7?
7. 7. These are all set in the record. So it's a 1 point or 1 steal or 1 rebound, whatever the case may be, the record, breaking a record.
Okay. No, I'm not a fan of that one either. No.
All right.
What else you got?
How about team to break the quarters record? 50 points in a quarter. 29-1. It's a lot of points.
Oh, that's interesting. That is a lot of points, but man,
you could get one goofy game.
That's shooting a lot of threes, and that's shooting almost perfect. 50 points in a quarter. Boy, oh boy. I think you're going to have a fun sweat with that one. At 29-1, that one might have to make the card. That one's not bad. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
We're working.
All right.
I'm going to save you the best one. Well, I got 2 these last 3 are pretty good. But let me go 1 before that. Each team to score 20 points in every quarter of every game, plus 750. That's under the premise. Think about this game's going to be. If you think these are going to be, it's going to be a short series, 4, maybe 5 games. 750 plus 7.5 to 1.
Okay. Kind of like that one. Do we have a quarter where one of the teams doesn't score 20 points? I mean, most likely, yes, I guess, but maybe only one. Right. That's going to be one we'll remember. If that's a 5-game series, let alone a 4-game series, and you can get this through, because the longer the series goes, the more likely this bet loses.
Right. That would some of these are based on the series going long, others are based on the series going quick. All right, I got 3 more. Used to host a morning show here on SportsGrid when we were doing shots on goal. We would have these pull over on the side of the road bets, which means don't even wait till you got to the office on your way to work. You pull over on the side of the road now because the line is going to change. I got 3 of those coming up with the NBA Finals. One better than the other. That's when we return. SportsGrid. In-game live. They're on the grid.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, and saying basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2, taking a look at the NBA Finals, which begin on Thursday. So we saved the best for last. We got some prop plays for the finals that FanDuel is offering up, and these are the pull over on the side of the road. Don't wait until you get to work, or don't wait until you get anywhere else to put these plays in, because it is true. These lines do change, and you want to grab them now. So here we go, Dave. I'll work in descending order, although the first two are pretty much a tie. How about Shea Gilchrist-Alexander to score 25 points in every game? Again, this is one of those that's built on, if you think the series is going to go 4 or 5, he's had 25 or more points in all but 3 of 16 playoff games. One was an absolute 50-point blowout win, and another was an absolute 50-point blowout loss. I don't think that's happening. There really was only one game against Denver in which he didn't get 25 points. He averages 32 in the regular season. He's averaging even more than that in the playoffs. I mean, it's not 20 points. I'll grant you that. But you're telling me this dude's not going to get 25 points in every game at Pick'em? I love this play a lot.
I like this a lot. I do. I think, obviously, he's going to win MVP. And of the season, regular season, they're going to do the same thing they did in the regular season. He's going to be the guy where everything goes through. Right. This looks good. I mean, you got something. I mean, that's really good. I like that one.
Yeah. How about this one? Shea Gilchrist-Alexander to get one. Okay, we use that one too. Instead of 25 points, 30 points at 5-1. If you want to bump it up.
Okay, so if you want to bump it up and take a shot, you go with this one too.
He's
think
had
you can bet
30
both
in most.
right?
I will say, you could definitely bet both. I mean, you can't parlay them obviously, but
No.
he has had 30 in nearly all of them. I will say that.
Okay, so legit. I mean, that legit has a chance, especially again, if you think it's going to be a shorter series. These are good opportunities, right? You want to play these. I'll be surprised if you don't get at least back to Indy with, the 25 plus both games alive going into game 3.
30 points. He's 11-5 in 16 playoff games. So,
okay. You probably need a little more than 5-1, but that's not a bad bet.
Yeah.
It's not a bad bet. Yeah.
All right. How about this one with SGA? One stinking lousy measly 1 3-pointer in every game, plus 140.
Wow.
He's had 1 3-pointer in 14 of his 16. He's not a big, I will tell you, he's not, he doesn't take 7, 8 3-pointers like some of these guys do, but he's had 1 in 14 of 16 games. And as high scoring as these games figure to be, and they're giving us plus 140. Right now, I'm telling you, tomorrow, in an hour, these lines are not going to be there, folks. I'm telling you, the way we're talking about them, they're going to move these suckers. So he's not getting 1 at plus 140 again, especially if you think the series is only going 5.
This one looks good. So what does he shoot on average per game? 3 or 4 a game?
A little more than that. I'll rattle them down. 4, 7, 5, 2, 4, 4, 4, 3, 5, 6. Okay. 4, 5, 6 a game.
Boy, this will be one of those things that we'll talk about after it happens and go, why didn't we bet this for more? Right? This one really feels like it. When you get Vinny, our producer, out of his chair, I heard him stand up essentially.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Like he's in the background going, guys, this may be one of your best ones yet. This is good. So wherever you're at, tweet at us if you got the Twitter at SportsBKConsig for me, at Opposite Picks for Scott, tag SportsGrid. Let us know you're watching the show. Which one of those SGA props do you like the best if you're, a basketball guy or basketball girl? That's really interesting. That's good. That's good. I like
got
that
an Indiana
debate.
one for you. I got an Indiana one for you.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
This is a combination of the ability and the odds. Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton, and Pascal Siakam to combine for 35 points every game. They average 40 over 40. and they're giving it to us at 12-1.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. No, only because OKC's defense is different. It's different. There's going to be one game where they shut one of them down. I don't like it. I don't think it's enough.
I like that.
Well, depending more next.
Yeah.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of thoughts.
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interested in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, and saying basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave just going over some of the prop plays. And Dave said he didn't like the Halliburton Siakam 35 points in every game at 12-1. I will say this. There was a game in which Halliburton, and this is the fear, scored only 4 points in 35 minutes. We can't have that. Can't have that. But he's, this is the postseason. That was the regular season. He only took 6 shots, too, for some reason. 8 assists. But at 12-1, the way these two guys are playing...
That defense of OKC is so different. I know.
How's it different? Everyone says it's so different. What do you mean different? They gave out 120 points a game. Well, yeah, it's not like they were holding people to 80, 90 points.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I just feel like they lock down. They take away your best thing that you do. And for one night, that bet gets you one time. So 12-1 is a nice price. I just don't think it's going to get there. Could be wrong, but as a book guy, I'm letting you take 12-1 and fire away. Go for it.
All right, I'll take it at 12-1. I will say if it was pick'em, that's the kind of the benchmark of a good play, right? The Halliburton or the SGA one is pick'em, and we like that with the 25 points. And then the one 3-pointer is basically pick'em. It's plus 140. We like that. I only like this because it's 12-1. Like if this was pick'em, I'd probably say no. But at 12-1 for you want a flyer, I think that's a live flyer. So
right.
Real quick on a baseball recap, and then we'll get into Gretzky versus the greatest thing since sliced bread, Connor McDavid. Philly's still 8-1 over the Blue Jays. What was the over-under on that one? Was what, 8.5? I think it went over. I think it was 8. Was 8.5? Right. So
just went over.
Had to sweat it out. Get 6 runs in the first inning. You shouldn't have to sweat, right? But
man,
you cashed. Stankies lead Cleveland 3-1, top of the 9th. They scored a couple of runs in the 8th. Reds taking a 4-2 lead over the Brewers, who are going for their 9th straight win. It's 4-2, top 9. You have a runner on second base, but I think there's 2 outs. So Red Sox Angels still tied at 3. Diamondbacks 8-3 over the Braves. What the Braves just, they're 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. They're just a 500 team. Yeah,
that's it.
Just not that good. It's amazing.
Every night. Yep.
Yeah. White Sox still 1-0 over the Tigers, bottom 6, and it's locked. And they got a couple of runners on. So look at the Royals. Wow, they were down 7-3. Let's see if the second greatest player since Babe Ruth has done anything. Caglione. I would think yes. No.
Hasn't done anything yet. No.
Well, they're overrated fool. Come on. You got all the pressure on. This is it. This is your time to shine. Team scores 8 runs. Yeah. You went 0 for 4 so far? At least 0 for 3.
The irony tonight is that every guy in the Royals lineup now has a hit except Caglione. So every guy in the lineup has a hit. They have 8 runs. They were down 7-2. They're now leading 8-7 in the 5th. And Caglione's 0 for 3. So he'll have other opportunities. He may still get a hit in his major league debut. We'll see. Yeah. But it's 8-7, end of 5, and the Royals are now favored, minus 150. Wow. Yep.
I'd take a flyer on St. Louis. It's only the 5th inning.
Okay. Yeah.
And the Cardinals are the home team, too.
6. Yeah, top of 6.
I thought Kansas City was, so I would definitely. White Sox just hit a 3-run blast. 4-0 now with the Tigers.
So they're gonna catch the Tigers, it looks like. Wow, they're gonna beat the Tigers. First time in a long time they beat the Tigers in Chicago. It's not over yet. You know what else isn't over is this debate. You have to get to this right now because we have Cam Stewart coming on next, and Cam talks about a bunch of different things. I'm sure he'll have an opinion on this. But this Gretzky versus McDavid thing that you've come up with, what did you do?
Did a little research, had some time on my hands. Little lady was at work today, so I said, you know what? Let's have some fun. Everyone thinks McDavid is the greatest thing since the history of mankind. So let's just see how he compares with Wayne Gretzky, who is the greatest hockey player of all time. And granted, Gretzky has played 20 years, but McDavid's played 10. So he's had a good enough sample size. It's not like, well, Scott, he's only played 3, 4, 5 years. 10 years is 10 years. And for one who wants to anoint himself as McJesus and the chosen one, kind of like Dopey LeBron, when you do that, you're up for scrutiny. So let's just kind of compare the two, shall we? Look at the numbers. This puts into perspective how great Gretzky is and how overrated McDavid is. 50-goal seasons. Gretzky, Dave, 9. McDavid,
impressive.
1 stinking. Even if you double it since he's played half the time, that's still only 2. 40-goal seasons, 14-4. Again, if you double McDavid, it's still only 8. 100 assists, 11-1. If you want to tell me, well, McDavid has assists, Scott, he's not a big scorer. He's assists. Baloney. Gretzky had 11 seasons of 100 assists. McDavid in 10 years only 1. 85, it's 14-2. Again, doubling McDavid's numbers. They don't compare. 100-point seasons, 17-8. That's pretty even since you would be doubling McDavid. But 200-point seasons, which is the real 4-0. Playoff goals.
Nobody got 200-point seasons though. Relax. That was Gretzky's thing. Nobody did that.
Gretzky did 4 times.
Who else did? Jeez.
Well, but McDavid is named McJesus, for goodness sake. Who else was on a cross, for goodness sake?
He didn't do that. The writers and people did that. They didn't name himself that.
He could have said, come on, guys, stop. First of all, please, I'm not even Catholic, so he might be, I don't know. But, he could have said, please, don't name me that. The chosen one, like LeBron? Playoff goals, 122. 122 playoff goals for Gretzky, only 43 for McDavid. Again, you double it, it's 122-86. let's do points. Then you don't have to double because it's points per game. Gretzky 1.83, McDavid only 1.58. And then the final one, how about the hat tricks? 65 to 13.
Come on. That's incredible.
Stanley Cups. That's the bottom line, Scott. How many Stanley Cups has the great one, the chosen one, McJesus won? 0 versus 4. And if Gretzky would have stayed with Edmonton, he would probably have at least 2 more, if not 3 more. Heck, they won a championship with Asa Tikkanen, if you remember, without him even. That's how good they were.
Yep.
But bottom line is he's got 4 zip. So
couple things
now
here.
you put into perspective how overrated McDavid is.
You're conflugating. What's the word I'm looking for? You're
red.
You're getting excited. You're overestimating, I think. It was a different game back then. It was 100% a different game back then. It was way more wide open. And I mean, Gretzky never got touched. He had basically bodyguards on the ice and on the team that made sure he never got touched. So he was able to wheel and deal a lot differently than Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid still gets hit. Connor McDavid actually gets penalties. Gretzky never got called for a penalty because Connor McDavid kind of pushes back, and sometimes he's a little bit dirty. That's a whole nother story. If he wins a cup, if Edmonton wins the cup, will you give him a little bit of due, Scott Wetzel, or is he still what you call the most overrated player in hockey?
If he plays a big role, because now you don't have Zach Hyman. So this is his real chance, like we're counting on you. All right, you got, out of the big 3, you got 1/3 out. So Draisaitl and McDavid really have to step up. And I hope they don't give him the Conn Smythe if he doesn't step up and they win. I don't want to see about, 15 assists. By the way, are you surprised that 14 or 13 is the record for most points in a Stanley Cup Finals? I would have thought more than that. I know it's a lot, but right?
It's a defensive game.
Yeah. All right, Dan Stewart, we'll get his thoughts when we come back.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, and saying basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave breaking down Stanley Cup, which begins tomorrow. Should be a great series. Let's talk a little pucks, a little baseball as well with our good buddy, Mr. Cam Stewart, who takes over at the top of the hour along with Gabe Morency here on the grid. What's going on, Cam? How are you tonight? Where are you siding, Gretzky or McDavid being overrated?
Scott, why can't we just have a show where we make bets? You always have to bring everything. Ooh, comparison. Oh, let's compare generation. Can't we just say they're both immaculate hockey players? Like, great.
No.
Back then, guys like Tim Kerr was scoring over 50 goals. Listen, in my opinion, Gretzky has nobody had better hockey sense than Wayne Gretzky. The stuff he did behind the net, his office, and like finding guys blindfolded and stuff like that. Playmaking, yes. McDavid for speed, those old guys can't even like hold his jock when it comes to like foot speed and stuff. But that's today's world that we're living in. Also, his numbers are going to be magnified. He also played with Curry, million good guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Messier, Glenn Anderson. Like, I get it. He's got Draisaitl, but I don't like these comparisons, Dave. I don't like generation stuff. Can't we just say like Gretzky's probably the best of all time, and this guy might be if he continues his pace? But right now, I'd say Wayne Gretzky's still the best of all time. But when it like Scott, the stuff that like his speed though it's stupid. Hockey sense, nobody's in Gretzky's league in my opinion. Like what he did with the puck, knowing where everybody was on the ice at all times, that's Gretzky's strength. He just knew where you were before it even happened, and nobody will beat him ever in that. Like when it comes to that, like when you watch old tape, these guys aren't fast either. I'm watching old hockey games on NHL Rewind. I'm like, oh my God, they're like me. Like they're in quicksand. Like they're not as fast. Like it's a whole different ball game. Athletes are different. I hate the comparisons, but yes, he has a lot of work to do to get to the great one, but we'll see. Let's cut him some slack if they win the Stanley Cup this year. And by the way, McJesus, like nobody, it's like, you know what I mean? On Seinfeld, remember when George, it's like T-Bone? No, it's Coco the Monkey. No, you don't give yourself a nickname of McJesus. Obviously, other people do. Like you can't call yourself Jesus. No, you can't. Hey, whatever. Somebody want to call me Cam the Lord or whatever? Hey, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do, even though I'm like, you can call me Gambler. You know, that seems to be the name that I do because I'll gamble on anything. But I don't know what. So why can't we just go into a day and say, both of these hockey players are two of the best of all time? And I don't like comparisons.
Yeah, this isn't the style.
I'm not a comparison.
Because he's never won.
That guy's not even in like the old guys league. It's a worse comparison with Gretzky and Messi. Yeah, well, it takes two to tango. You need like Grant Fuhr had a goals against like 5, but they scored 7 freaking goals a game. That's the whole thing. Like they had Paul Coffey on defense. Like no offense Kevin to the guys that they have in Edmonton, Bouchard with this big shot, but like that Kevin Lowe. But like Paul Coffey was one of the smoothest ever. Like next to Bobby Orr, who's a better offensive defenseman than Paul Coffey.
Right. Yeah,
like
there wasn't.
You know
anybody.
what I mean? Anyway, let's not do this. We're here to bet. Anyway, I got no time
on tonight.
We're evolving. We're evolving. The show.
We are.
You know, we discuss these things and different topics, and it's fine.
Trivia last night. I liked Colorado
that was
Rockies
good, right?
trivia. Like Bird, the pitcher, like 2 pitchers under 3, like one reliever who nobody knows. Anyway, they won again tonight. 2 in a row.
They did.
They did.
That was good. So, Cam, I don't know if you remember a guy named Robbie Brown. He was a winger
with the
on
Pittsburgh
Lemieux's
Penguins.
line.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
Brown.
He couldn't skate. He kept our dreams alive while we were in high school in the stands going, man, we skate better than Robbie Brown. This guy's in the National Hockey League scoring 50 goals a game. It was a very different game. Goalie pads were minute. It was way more wide open. Points were more plentiful.
I'd leave seasons back then. We used to go to games, Scott. Toronto 11, Chicago 8, Detroit 13, Toronto 6. Like every game was like 19 goals. Like we were sitting there going, we didn't see a 2-1 game. Like an under game would be like 5-4. Like every game was in the double digits. I'm like, wow, this Murray Bannerman really sucks for Chicago. I'm like, oh man, Ken Reagan put in another one. That's 11 goals. Like it was ridiculous. Like we're sitting there going,
it wasn't that much.
I'm going to ask you this.
It was, Scott, I'm telling you, it was a lot of 8 to 6s and stuff like that. Go check the tape.
It was go back and look in the late 80s, early 90s. There was a lot of goals scored before the Devils changed the game with the left wing lock.
Yeah.
Cam, does
it's hot here.
Does the narrative change with McDavid if the Oilers win the Cup?
Yes. Well, what is the narrative? That he's overrated? I don't really think he is.
Yes.
What do you mean he can't win? These guys went to the Stanley Cup final and lost to Florida. They're like every team loses before they win. If they win the Stanley Cup, they've done what they're supposed to do. Baby steps. The Oilers used to get beat by the Islanders, and then they had their legacy. The Islanders murdered them. They murdered them. It takes time to get over the hump. Florida figured it out. Edmonton has to take care of business now. You're right. But don't you agree he's kind of taking the team on his back? Huge goals against Dallas and everything else. But anyway, it's going to be a great Stanley Cup. Let's just put it that way. Live betting, give me the Seattle Storm live -6.5 against the Dallas Wings, WNBA. We'll start there. Baseball, typical Blue Jays. On a 5-game win streak, what do? Give six runs up in the first inning. They're getting smoked by the Phillies. Live, Seattle Mariners and Baltimore. Small play on the Mariners. And yeah, that's about it right now. I don't know, Wetzel, like, do you wake up and say, how do I upset people today? Is that like,
it is up to me to correct the wrongs. When the guy gets credit for being the greatest player ever and he hasn't won squat, everybody. He won the Conn Smythe last year and his team lost, for goodness sakes. His nickname is McJesus, for goodness sakes.
Can't you just say Dave looks like Jesus in that Royals outfit? He looks fantastic. If Jesus came down with that beautiful Royals hat, Dave, that is a gorgeous hat, by the way. Don't worry, Wetzel, you can't compliment me. I know, I'm on my 5-shirt rotation. Give me the Dallas Wings in the WNBA. That's what I like. Not too much.
What about Mets Dodgers?
That was
Mets Dodgers.
Mets Dodgers tonight. I mean, it was a really good game last night. And
we were wrong, Dave. Dave, that total, so many runs were left out in the field there. And my college baseball, Southern Miss came back 5-4. They were down 5-1, but God, that was close. I like the Dodgers tonight with Kershaw at -140. Don't love it. What do we do with Minnesota and Oakland? I guess we blindly take the over and hope for the best. Like, I'll tell you, I don't even know. All I know is there's going to be runs every time this team, like when the Athletics hit the baseball field, all we do is get runs. Eventually it's going to go under, but I would lean over 10. I like the Dodgers tonight. Man, am I going to take the Colorado Rockies again tomorrow to make it 3 in a row? I might get stupid. I'm thinking about it.
Freeland and Quantrill.
I like Freeland.
You're not going to like the price. It's a small,
I know.
They're only going to get +110
Want to
or
know why,
+115.
Because the Rockies might win again. They might win 3. Crazy.
That was my money on them, I'll tell you that. Damn the game, top of the hour.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, and saying basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Dave wrapping up shop. Top of the hour. Gabe and Cam on SportsGrid Radio, SportsGrid TV for the next two. Some sad news here, Dave. I don't know if you remember Jim Marshall, the Purple People Eaters, the great Minnesota Vikings defensive line with Alan Page and Jim Marshall. He passed away today, 87 years old, and made famous because he made an interception, or was it a fumble return? Interception, I think fumble return. And he got spun around. I remember the play. I remember seeing the play as a highlight. And he ran the wrong way. Ran about 75, 80 yards the wrong way. His teammates are following him, trying to catch him and say, you're going the wrong way. He gets into the end zone, spikes the football like he scored a defensive touchdown. And then he realizes it was the wrong way. It turned out to be a safety, obviously. I'm a little surprised that doesn't happen more often. But you don't hear about that now that much. But, when I was growing up in the 80s and stuff, that was like, man, every single time they would show a Viking team, or they would always show that highlight. This poor guy had to live with that his entire life. So sad news. Those are good Minnesota Viking teams. It's too bad they didn't win 4 Super Bowls, and they just couldn't get over the hump. And they really weren't even close in the games, to tell you the truth. Pittsburgh, Miami. The Raiders. Who was the other team?
And Denver?
Pittsburgh,
Did
Miami.
they lose to Denver? I don't remember who the other team was. I don't know.
Not Denver.
Kansas City, maybe? 16-6 was the Steeler game, right? 16-6 was the Steeler game. I remember that. That was my first Super Bowl memory as a kid.
Right. Dolphins 23-7, if memory serves me right.
Okay. Yeah.
Raiders blitzed them. And it must have been, I think it was Kansas City.
Tough spot.
It's Super Bowl 3. Super Bowl 4 was Kansas City. With Hank Stram. Matriculate the ball down the field.
Matriculate the ball down the field. Yeah. So Fran Tarkenton was the quarterback of those teams. Yep. The defense was the Purple People Eaters. Jim Marshall was number 70. I remember that from the highlights. Yeah, the wrong way story is crazy, but those teams were good, man. There's a lot of hype for Minnesota this year to be good again. A lot of really people in the space have been putting out, the number of bets on teams and amount of money on certain teams, and Minnesota's getting a lot of love. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Yes. I mean, they're bringing everybody back except the quarterback. Sam Darnold's out in Seattle, but that's one team that I think is getting a lot of early, OTA talk, love, whatever it is. Do you watch any of the OTAs? Do you care about any of the OTAs? I never did, even when I lived in Pittsburgh. There's nothing to derive from any of this for a betting thing. I swear. Yeah. There isn't, right?
Yeah. Even preseason games, outside of maybe I'd like to see how McCarthy plays or one of these rookie quarterbacks. But, I could give you 1,000 examples of how these teams look great and players look great in the preseason. And then it gets to the real stuff, and it's just like night and day. It's like AAA baseball to the majors. You can be the greatest thing in the world, but when the lights get turned on and the NFL players really trying, there's not much to derive from it. I don't think, anyway, from my standpoint.
I don't think so. 6-1 White Sox lead the Tigers in the bottom of the 7th. Yeah. So the Tigers may be toast. So their streak against the White Sox is probably going to be ending. Angels and Red Sox are still tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 9th. We'll see if that one goes over the total. The Rays lead the Rangers 4-1 after 7. What's the karma play?
Well, Colorado wins. White Sox win. A's. Well, that 3-team parlay pay you.
Wow.
We got Black Cloud of Minnesota, so I hope not. But sometimes you just got, when lightning strikes, it's just like they win out of the blue. So
damn, that would be big. That would be a big paying dog price right there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How about Miami only a -130 favorite over Colorado tomorrow? 2 wins, and now all of a sudden Colorado's the greatest thing in the world. Dante Bichette's walking out.
Would have argued that should have been the price, at least in the first game of the series. When we talked about it yesterday, I thought that should have been a lot lower. Today, with Alcantara, you can understand it be bumped up a little bit. Go for their first 3-game winning streak of the entire season tomorrow. it's a day game. There'll be about 12 people at the game tomorrow, right? That's a noon
12
start.
o'clock game. They showed pictures on Twitter. There were about 150 people there last night and about another 150 or so tonight. I mean, tomorrow. 50?
Good job,
I'll be back
boys.
tomorrow. Good job, fellas. Sam and Gabe, top of the hour.